Let's proceed to our next session now, which is CIO Top Priority Business and IT Alignment. And for this, I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Farhan Khan. He's the CIO for Allied Blenders and Distillers Limited. Mr. Farhan is a result-oriented professional with over 29 years of diverse IT experience encompassing IT operation management, digital transformation management, IT service management, program/project management, and new business development. He has proven capability to build strong relationship across stakeholders groups with the expertise to effectively influence and communicate across various business lines and units and at senior levels within the organization. He has shown immense success in growing customer base across target markets through strategic business development plans. On this note, can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Is it working? Good morning, guys. I think for the whole day you will hear a lot of things. I think the session done by you, it's fantastic. I want to make it, because I belong to a very interesting company called ABD. We are into liquor. I think morning session should not be my session, but somehow make it more interesting. I just need to tell you who we are, what we are, and what we are doing. As in today, in India, there are two companies who basically lead this industry. First is 𝗕𝗂𝗧. I think we all know about it. Earlier it was Vijay Mallya. Now it is 𝗕𝗂𝗧. And second company is Pernod. We are the only Indian company who is the third largest, not even in India, but we also produce third largest, globally largest whiskey, which is Officer Choice. This is globally. That's what I'm basically precising on this point. Now you are saying business alignment and where this whiskey is coming from. So I'm just telling you, this industry is typically different industry because it has different variety of complexity. We'll talk about it, and we'll also see how this is going to change over a period of time. I think we talk about the globalization. This is the industry which is hit by the global team player. It is unorganized industry, which is being now in a shape of going towards organized, in a way of different variety of solutions with different variety of adoption of technologies. It's just a data which talks about who we are, where are we are. We are serving about almost 80,000 shops all across India, which consist of retailers and dealers as well. So that's where we are. Now, just to give you some understanding, I think we all know BOI and BII, right? Yes or no? 𝗕𝗂𝗧 Regal. 𝗕𝗂𝗧 Regal is a product which has been manufactured outside India and it's been imported in India. So that's called is. So we are bottling from the company where we are, is the bottling where the original is happening. One of them, Johnnie Walker. But there are products where the spirit is coming and we are bottling in India. So that means they need an infrastructure where they have to bottle, they need to buy caps, they need to buy bottles, guala cap, labels, mono cartons, and of course the carton as well. But for a BIO, they don't need anything. They need a custom to pay, and that's the reason the price of BIO is higher than what we made. What we made is an Indian-made foreign liquor, which is IMFL. So in which we have one of the best brand, as I say, Officer Choice, Iconic, and B7. Now the difference in this, we have to set up a plant from manufacturing of ENA, which is extra natural alcohol, till the bottling. The distillation itself is a big concept. You might have heard about the Scotch. We cannot produce Scotch. We cannot produce wine. So Sula wine is one of the examples. But if you are testing Sula wine and the wine that has been imported from many other countries, you will feel the taste is different because the process is different. The way it has been produced, the way it has been filtered in a different section of distillation is completely different. So these are the brand basically that we deal with. And these are the different segments also. We as a ABD, we are the king of mass premium. Officer Choice is a mass premium product. That's one of the category that we deal with. Then we have a category called semi-premium. Then we have a deluxe whiskey and all these other segments. Every segment has its own impact in the bottling line, on the manufacturing side, on the supply chain, in the ENA that we are buying from the different resources. Another part which is very important is a state subject. What is the state subject means? The price of bottle A is different in Maharashtra than any other state. If you buy a bottle, it is written manufacturing in X state and selling state is Y. It is written there, specifically it is written. It is not like any FMCG product that you can produce in any of the factory and you can supply to any other state. But in this, we have to register a brand for the state. For example, if I'm manufacturing a product called B7 for Delhi, and I'm manufacturing in, let's say, in Haryana, so I have to write manufactured in Haryana, factory so-and-so, and for Delhi only. For Delhi only. That means my labels are different. My processing is different. The excise officer who sits at the factory, he makes sure these two products separately categorized within the factory itself. When he goes out from the factory, he has to seal my ENA, my raw material, my packing material, even my factory also. Tomorrow when he comes, he opens it. That means it is state subject. And largely, if you look at the revenue side, we contribute around 48 to 49% of the total state revenue. So that's why it is completely governed. That means we cannot move material within the factory itself. For example, I have a plant in Rangapur, which is in Telangana. So what I'm doing is I'm manufacturing ENA also. Say when we manufacture ENA, it has been volume. That means the alcoholic percentage is 96.2, 96.4, 96.8, depending upon in which weather it has been produced. Winter season, it is good. Raining season, it's a bit tight for us. So those ENA's alcohol percentage come down to 92.8. If you drink if you have any bottle in your hand, you can see the VOV, which is volume over volume of alcohol, is 92.8, which is consumable for human. You might have heard about Desi Daru, right? Country liquor. It is 44.6 or 45.8. So that's the alcohol volume. We reduce to that level and make sure it has to be bottled in a way with the different quality process. Of course, there is a subject which is basically addressed to the state line. Some says you have to have digital QR code on each and every bottle. For example, we have Telangana, we have Andhra Pradesh, we have Delhi. These states are completely digitalized. That means they monitored your material which is coming into the factory, which has been produced in the factory, which has been warehoused in the factory. Those are in transitions. And of course, because these subjects are, these states are corporate states, that means we are selling to the corporate. We are not selling to any other party. So the warehousing of the corporation also managed by them. So they have entire visibility of supply chain, where the material is, how much we are going to produce, how much in transit, how much we have in their own warehouses and our factory warehouses as well. So they have a complete visibility, starting from packing material, raw material, till FG, which is coming into their godown. There are states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand. These states is nothing, is basically, they are the private leader. So what is the private is basically, the state government give a license to the distributors. So everybody, for me, is a kingmaker. So I have a pricing for a different people, for a different schemes, for a different product that I'm selling in. If I'm selling vodka, if it is a vodka industry, then my scheme and trade scheme would be different than what I'm selling in whiskey. Because my whiskey is I'm the mass premium king, so that means my negotiation power is different than what I'm dealing in the vodka, and of course in gin as well. So it goes by segment to segment, category to category, and of course state by state. Because what they do is generally, let's say there are 4 or 5 distributors, they combine together and they will make one syndicate. So one syndicate, let's say, is capturing 1,000 retails. So your bargaining is different. Your bargaining is 5 different people capturing thousands of retail. Your schemes are different. Your settlement is different. Your payment terms is different. So all is different because they have a more power to sell your product. If they need, they will buy from you. So what we need to understand is basically what they are selling at the end of the day. They are selling my product or they are selling Pernod or Diageo product. If they are selling Pernod and Diageo, why they are selling it? Whether it is a scheme or it is a customer demand. This data is very important for all kind of analysis. And we capture those data by virtue of different mobile applications. It comes back to us and we do the secondary analysis. There are certain areas, for example, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, on all those areas, our payment is being made on the secondary sales, not on the primary sales. That means whatever we are transferring from factory to depot, it is not being paid off. It is only being paid once my retailer is going to collect this material from their own warehouses. So my secondary is very important for me because my payment is being made on those secondaries. So capturing on those secondary and from the private market, where there are kingmakers, is a big challenge. It is not me, it is for industry challenge. Corporation is good because you have a portal, you have access to all application tools where you will download the data and you understand how your brand is moving, which segment you are moving, which brand of the competition and your brand is basically the movement of what is the market share that you are having in whiskey on a different segment. But capturing the data from the retailers or a distributor is a different ballgame. Plus, we are not allowed to do a marketing at the retailer and the dealer as well. Surrogatic marketing, you all know. We generally get into it. MRP, you might have buying some material, right? The Maharashtra liquor cost is very high. Is anybody from Haryana? No. Haryana is a bulk market. You will get easily 40 to 45% discount. So that means the bottle which is costing you $1,000 here in Maharashtra, it will cost you around 550 or 600 rupees in Haryana because it's a bulk market. It's a different market altogether. Why I'm telling you? Because these inputs are very important for all of us as well. Those are a quality drinker, I would say. So that means the price that we are selling in within the state is not in our hand. It is also being governed by only state. They have said, you have officer choice whiskey, your price is this much. Now, on the MRP, we need to calculate back and say, okay, this is my price, this is the tax. Now look at the tax. If I'm just giving hypothetical numbers. If my price is $100, I'm paying price about 550 to 600 rupees. That means it is costing you 700 to 800 rupees. If it is 700 means my price is only 100. The rest of the amount is going to state government. That's the reason it is about the revenues 47 to 48% of each and every state that we are into. We are GST, out of GST. There are two, I think three. One is cigarette, oil, which is petroleum, and liquor. These are three products which are out of GST. We are also out of GST. That means that any product, we are buying bottles, we are buying CC box, we are buying any packing material or raw material, which is GST. It is basically part of my cost because I'm not getting any return from the GST, not at all. It is also that all the GST rules apply applicable for me as well. It doesn't mean that if I'm not out of GST, I'm not going to be I cannot go and say, okay, I'm out of GST, so I will not go for a compliance. So compliance also comes under me. Different compliance, but yes, there are compliance. Now, which is very important part is RTM. The reach to market is completely state-driven. Now, what the state-driven is basically, Delhi, we are not allowed to have a factory because we call it a polluted market industry. So in Delhi, we are out of it. Most of the UT, we are out of it. So that means we have to have a place where we need to manufacture our bottle, our extra natural alcohol, which is also commodity business, which changes over a period of a time. Any statement come from the government, it hits the price very badly in every aspect of our, and ENA and the bottle, the cost of these two, about 50 to 55% of our total product. If my product cost is 100 bucks, so 50 rupees is something. Now, the costing is very complicated here because it's subject to subject, state to state, changes over a period of time. And there are two set of exercise which is very important for us, that what is the money that we are getting out of launching any product within the state itself. Calculating on this is a very complicated scenario because each product is different in each state. If I am having, let's say, 25 product, that means 25 into whatever the state that I have, plus SKU size, which is almost 5 to 7 SKUs that I have. And this cost is basically nothing. It is helping me to understand whether I have to launch my brand or not. If you look at in India, there is a new trend that it is happening. The customer is moving out from mass premium to premium products. In Maharashtra, the BOI cost has been reduced drastically because they have reduced the taxes. Now there is two challenges. First is challenge, we have to deal with Pernod Diageo. Those are bottling in India, manufacturing in India. But similarly, we also have to compete with the people. Those are bottling outside India and then bringing the bottle in India. So there are two competition in Maharashtra. That's the reason the cost is high in Maharashtra. So if you focus on Maharashtra, only Maharashtra, we need to understand which distributor is selling, how much BOI, how much BII, and how much IMFL. That's a 36,000 understanding. And then we get into it, how much money they are making, how much money we are making, what is the market share that we are capturing, which segment is selling more. Conversion of the new generation, if you look at, the youth is going more into vodka rather than going for a whiskey. This is the trend which is happening for the last 10 to 15 years. Now, why vodka? The whiskey is smelly. Vodka is not smelly. So, youth who is going home is not giving, is high, but you cannot understand whether he is having a drink or not. So the vodka and gin, CAGR, for the last 5 to 6 years in India is about 20 to 24% for the last 4 to 5 years. But gin, which has changed the paradigm of the entire industry, not even in India, even in the worldwide. Europe has started adopting gin because it's more, if you understand, vodka is a more sweet product, gin is a more herbal product. So that means you have 5 to 7 herbal, which basically goes into the gin. So it started from Europe, now it is entering in India also. The CAGR of a gin is about 30 to 34% for the last 2 to 3 years. Adoptability. And what we are as an Indian company is doing is basically to deal with, not with the existing competition, but also to deal with the BOI that we have. And the product that we are making is, there are certain products which we are importing from outside because it's a scotch. If you say scotch, that means we are not making in India. So we are outsourcing it. When you outsource, we have to buy from the different part of the world. Every state has its own retail. For example, I want to give you an example for Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a corporate market. In a corporate market, we are selling to the corporate is selling to retailer. But every year, they are renewing the retailer. That means if I have retailer X in my name, Farhan Khan is a retailer, tomorrow they will not give you, next year, policy. So what I will do, I will take my driver name and I have a license. If I look at the trend for the last 3 years, for me it's very difficult. So I need to capture Farhan Khan for the last 3 years with a different name and a different code, but somewhere I have to write a code saying that if Farhan or my driver Anil or somebody comes, it should be one party. So I have to align my system in such a way, typically in Rajasthan, that I want to see a trend, I cannot see until unless my data has to be aligned the way I want to see the data. So that's a challenge that this industry is having it. I think solution is, I think we all know, we all are seasoned CIO. I don't think we need to talk too much about it. Of course, digital transformation is something which a company like us, which is completely unorganized, is very much required. Connecting different people. We are using mostly around 300 to 400 trucks on a daily basis, because we are the third largest. We are selling around 32 to 34 million cases in a year. We captured about 8.3% of market in India. 𝗖𝗎 is 24, Pernod is about 18. We are the third largest, we capture about 8.4%. So cloud is, because agile usability is very rapidly, you can adopt it. I just want to give you one example, which is digital transformation and use of low code and no code. I got a call from the MD. He says that when I'm going to launch a new brand, any particular state, there is a sheet which comes. The sheet talk about 2-3 aspects of life. First is, what is the money that I'm making? What is the current industry that I'm pitching my product? What is the industry trend that has happened for the last 4 to 5 years? And what is my planning for the next 4 to 5 years? I need that sheet, and one sheet has to come from the state. The state has to submit it. Region head or regional finance director or sales director should review it, sign it. It comes to corporate. The corporate, the controller and the CFO should sign it. Chief Revenue Officer should sign it. And it comes to me, then only I will sign it. Every product when we launch in any state, we have to pay a fees, which is a very heavy fees. Some product is 40, 50,000 or lakhs and all this. Over a period of time, so we also have to see how much money that we are paying with respect to introducing a brand in particular state. Now, if I look at this as in transition, I was able to successfully deliver this through low code, no code within 3 to 4 days. So he was happy, okay, things are working. In a giant called SAP, if you try to build this through ESS portal or anything, it takes its own sweet time. But there are some code, there are some application which will allow you to turn around as fast as possible. So I believe is in the 21st century, which we call as the digital era, we have tremendous pressure from the different ITs, jargons which are coming to us. As in my previous, he said the blockchain. Blockchain, I think there is a pressure from the CFO. Let me know what is the blockchain, where all I can apply. Now nobody is talking about blockchain. The people now talking about the Gen AI. Now the usability, adaptability, plus how it is going to fit with the culture and the process that we are using within the organization, it's a different ball game. So these are something which I would like to put forth of you. If any question, I am ready to address it.
Thank you so much, Farhan, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Please stay back, sir, and I'll request Mr. Ramanand Parhi from Alchem to come forward and felicitate him for his talk. Thank you so much once again.